Hey buddies, it's Booker here coming at you with another Borderlands 3 video. Today I'm going to be showing you the best places to farm legendaries with the new Loot the Universe event. For Pandora, I'm going to go through every single zone, which zones have added legendary rates, and what type of legendaries you can find there. But before we get into it, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. You have no idea how much it helps me out, and let's get into it. So some of you have noticed I do have a new mic here. It's kind of in the camera frame right here. It does sound a lot nicer. I hope you guys like it. There's not going to be weird crackles as my previous mic has, but enough stalling, let's actually get into it. So I'm going to go down the list from which zones has increased rate and which don't. So Covenant Pass does not, but the first one that does is the Droughts. Now the best place to get legendaries from the Drought is actually right in front of where you spawn, right here. All the other places are a bit too small or a bit too wide to have enough enemies or not enough badasses to actually get a good amount of legendaries. So I'm going to real quick show you the area in case you're unfamiliar with it, but you should be familiar with it. And the build that I'm using to showcase here is not actually released yet. It is a Pyroburst build that I will be linking at the top right as soon as it gets released. But for right now, I'm just testing it out, seeing as how much damage we can deal with the Pyroburst. Right now it's a bit chaotic, as you guys probably already know with the Pyroburst, but right now we already got one legendary, and there's a decent amount of anointed enemies that spawn, so we do get higher chances of legendaries from that as well. Now the main legendaries that drop here are going to be class mods and SMGs. Now there is another area that is going to spawn SMGs. I probably recommend this place to farm maybe class mods instead. And the reason why I say that is because the SMG spot later is a lot better than this area. And if you are planning on only farming class mods here, you can actually put your Mayhem level to 1 and keep your guys at max level, or if you're in true Vault Hunter mode, you don't have to worry about that. But if you do that, then you'll have a quicker time farming the class mods. And one of the most important things on any builds is getting class mods with good secondary stats, so you guys can farm that very, very well. Now you can also use the artifact, the Schluter, to increase your drop chance. It does help with the dedicated drop chances of the SMG and class mods, or any dedicated loot tables from any of these zones, so you can use that to boost your chances here as well. Now the next zone we're going to is Ascension Bluff. Ascension Bluff has a dedicated loot table of sniper rifles, so if you guys want to get some legendary sniper rifles, you'll want to farm here. The best place to farm the legendaries is going to be actually in the mouthpiece areas. Of course, in a lot of these areas, after you're done farming, you can save, quit, and enter, and you'll be spawned right next to the area, just like the last area with the Droughts. You'll be spawned right next to it if you save and exit, so you can use that. So here's the area. It spawns a lot of badasses and anointed enemies as well, so you'll get a decent amount of legendaries. And right off the bat, we did get one legendary. We got an ASMD, so there's our sniper rifle right there. You just basically go through the zone, run around, kill all the enemies. You do want to run this and probably all the other ones except for one other map on Mayhem 11 or 10 to get the most amount of drop rate, and of course to get the Mayhem level on your weapons. And a lot of you might actually be in this area and come to this part like I am, where the gates actually close. Now if the gates close, you want to go to Sanctuary to Ellie. They will give you a mouthpiece quest to defeat the next mouthpiece. That will allow you to open the gate and continue on the area, so you'll want to do that in case you want to farm sniper rifles here. Now the next place we're going to be showing is Devil's Razor. Devil Razors have an increased chance of dropping assault rifles and grenade mods. The best place to farm it is actually going to be in this little area. There's a lot of badasses and anointed enemies like all these areas in a really small area that keeps spawning enemies, so that's really, really nice. Of course, you'll have to save quit if you kill them all like any other place. And it's about a 5-second drive to actually get here, so it's very easy to get here. Right off the bat, it does spawn some anointed enemies out the front, and there's enemies that spawn over here as well. There's just a lot of condensed enemies that spawn here that makes it really, really easy to farm the legendaries. So definitely this is one of the better spots on Pandora, so definitely go here in case you want to farm the grenade mods or assault rifles. And even after I killed the first wave, the enemies keep spawning, so that's very, very nice. They spawn for a long time actually, so it is definitely one of the better spawns in this particular map. A lot more legendaries than any other map that we've had so far. Now in the Splinterlands, there's going to be increased chance of getting pistols. There's going to be 2 fast points that you can go to, but you want to go to Chop Shop. The reason why you want to go to Chop Shop is because it's really, really close to the actual place you want to farm the legendaries. So this right area right here is actually not much to look at, so you want to move past the area and keep going down this hallway. The main area that a lot of enemies are going to spawn in is around there and over here. This is the main place you want to farm them. After you're done killing them, of course, like any other area, you want to save and quit so you can get the enemies to respawn. And there is the big D over there in case you want to farm unnamed enemy along the way at the same time, which is very, very useful in case you want to do that. Not even a full run, I already have about 5-6 legendaries actually right there, so it's very, very quick, and I'm not even using the Schluter, so it could be increased by 10 times. So this is definitely a really good spot to farm the pistols if you want them. Next place we're going to be doing is Carnivora. It drops shields and assault rifles. This place is a little bit more self-explanatory. There's not a lot of places you can actually kill enemies except for the very start, so you pretty much just want to run through the area, run it like a gauntlet, and just kill all the enemies that you see. Pretty self-explanatory this one, so there's not much else to really talk about. There's a decent amount of badasses like any other place, and decent amount of anointed enemies, and they're in a little condensed area as well, especially as you get further down. To keep spawning, so it's definitely a very good place to farm the legendaries in case you want the assault rifles or the shields. Speaking of self-explanatory, this one is Guts of Carnivora. It does have an increased drop chance of the heavy weapons, so the rocket launchers and such. Very easy to explain. It's basically just a linear hallway for the most part, and you're going to kill all the enemies around. All the enemies that do spawn are in fairly condensed areas, as I'll show you right here. The enemies should spawn right around here, but you want to run through the whole place to get the most bang for your buck. And if you're playing on console, you don't have to worry about load times as much with this particular map, so you just want to run through the area, see if any legendaries drop. If they drop, stop and such. So this one's actually pretty self-explanatory. Next one is going to be Conrad's Hold. Conrad's Holds has an increased drop chance of SMGs, so don't farm the Drought for SMGs, farm this place for SMGs in general area to get legendaries and stuff, a lot more enemies and such. You can kind of run through the area and get a lot of legendaries that way. I primarily like to focus around outside of the Slaughter Shafts area, so this first area is pretty decent, I'll say that. The main place I like to farm is near the VAR Kids, so I'm going to show you real quick. The easiest way to get there is to go to the Slaughter Shaft, teleport there real quick, and then we're just going to exit out the map. There we go, I just spawned in real quick, and we're entering Conrad's Hold now. And there we go, lots of VAR Kids, very, very easy. The VAR Kids spawn a lot, so that's very, very easy to farm. And there's some VAR Kids down here in case you want them to farm them that way. As soon as you're done, just save and quit. Very, very easy. After you're done killing them outside, you can of course kill them inside as well. I believe there's some bandits as well if you keep going down, but I generally like to just kill the VAR Kids. Easiest way to get the legendaries, SMGs, is just killing these VAR Kids. Just go all around the area. As soon as the VAR Kids camp from up top here inside the workshop and down below, you want to just save and quit so you can respawn the VAR Kids, start the process all over again. The next area, Sandblast Scar, has no increased legendary drop rate, and of course you wouldn't want to go through that area again because it's kind of a shit show. So let's move on to the Cathedral of the Twin God. The Cathedral of the Twin Gods has an increased drop rate of artifacts and shotguns. This is the only place that spawns shotguns and the artifacts, so if you're mainly going for the artifacts, I would recommend lowering your mayhem level, since the artifacts don't scale based on your mayhem level, and just killing all the enemies around there so you can get as many artifacts as possible to get the desired secondary stat that you would like. Otherwise, you could go mayhem 10 to get the legendary shotguns in case you want the shotgun. There is a decent amount of legendary shotguns in the game, so perhaps you want to farm this place especially, and to get the artifacts as much as possible. Make sure to smash the anointed enemies that freeze after being killed, because they do drop a decent amount of legendaries after being smashed. I personally like just doing this area, save quitting, entering back. I usually get about 10 legendaries with the Schluter or more. Right now I only got 3, but that was kind of unlucky without the Schluter. But besides that, this is the main place you want to get to. Very, very easy. If you're on console, don't like the load times, you could keep going into the area. Pretty linear map, so there is a lot of enemies to kill, so you could definitely do that. Then the last 4 areas on the map is the Great Vault, Destroyer's Rift, the Slaughter Shaft, and Dark Thrust Dominion. All 4 of these don't have increased drop rate of any legendaries, so don't farm the area if you're looking to loot the universe with this particular event. Just focus on the 8 that I mentioned before. And that's pretty much all the best places to farm the legendaries for this event. If you found an area that's a little bit better on farming legendaries, put it in the comments. It would help us as a community telling everyone what's the best place to farm in case you found something better. But as always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I hope you all have a great day. Bye-bye.
And the last shall be first to immerse in a pass out heat, facing him up with a moxie melt till he woke up drowning in tchotchke hell. War in a cave with a torch on a wall, then a window arrangement of porcelain dolls.